Hey everyone, and welcome back to Leadership Unveiled, my channel. My name is Kayla, and I'm a leadership and career coach, but specifically, I love helping people move into leadership positions or become new managers and help them rock at leading themselves and their teams. So if you like that type of content, make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss the content that's coming out from me weekly or more frequently than that. I am diving right into this series all about what to do when you are a brand new manager. So today we're specifically going to be talking about what to do on your first day or days as a manager. And I have my notes here so I don't miss anything. I hope you don't mind. So we're just going to dive right in. So when I was starting out, my biggest question as a new manager was how is being a manager different than being on the team? Okay, I was promoted and I was a high performer. I got all my to-dos done. I made things happen. I had a vision. But how is that different than being a manager? So one of the mistakes I think managers make is that they don't take time to develop their team. And so they do all of the things and it feels like it's very much behind the scenes. So that's why I love that this channel is called Leadership Unveiled, because I like to pull back the curtain on what leadership is really like and what management is really like. So I'm here to tell you what I did when I was starting out as a new manager and what I've seen other people do that's really worked well for them. So it's like, what the heck does my manager do? And I feel like I knew at the time, as a manager, I was supposed to be doing less and helping other people do their work, and I was supposed to be leading more. But the question in my mind was, how do I do that? So I'm going to teach you how to do that, starting out with these few things on your first days that you can do, as well as for videos coming in the future. I'll also say maybe some of your fears, and I know because I know it was my fear, it was number one, how do I lead people who have a lot more experience than me? I had only 3 years of experience when I first became supervisor. And then I became manager in 2018. So 6 years after I had started, I became manager. And there were people with 20, 30, 40 years of experience. And I thought, how am I going to lead those people? And then what I ended up finding out, and you'll learn, is that if those people were going to be in leadership positions or they wanted to be leaders, then they would be in your job. So I went around and surveyed a couple people that I trusted, people that were people that I felt like knew my true ambition and my qualities and knew my values. And I said, hey, how are you going to feel about me now being your leader or your boss when you know that I'm newer to the company and have way less experience than you, but you know that I love to learn and that I'm excited to be in this role. And they say, Kayla, don't worry about it. Like I said, if we wanted to be the manager, we'd be in the manager role. And we're not. And we're not clawing for it. We like doing what we do. We want somebody who loves to be a leader. And so go do your thing, honey. Basically do your thing, honey. So don't be afraid about leading people with more experience, because you know that you are here because you love people, that you are a good leader, and that you want to learn. So that's the half of it. You already are on the right foot. The second worry that I had was, how am I going to lead my peers? People that used to be my coworkers, and in some cases, my really, really good friends, now that I'm their boss. So if that is a whole separate topic, I would love to dive in with you. So go check out, I will link in the card as well as the description below. I have a video on how to lead my peers, how to go from peer to leader. And that is one of my most popular videos. So just go check that out. All right. So, thinking about all these fears, not knowing what the manager role is about, what we're going to talk about now is how to learn about the department, your people, being a manager, and how you can figure out what you're supposed to do. But first, I want to just say, just remember that your experienced colleagues will tell you that are not in your role, you are in the role, right? Somebody thought that you would be good for this role, whether it's you were a good performer or good technically. And so they believe that you have the potential to be an awesome manager and leader. So somebody chose you to be in this position. Even if you were the only one that interviewed because you're the only one interested, they wouldn't have selected you if they didn't think you'd be good. Because here's the thing, you can make a poor business decision by hiring the wrong person to lead a team. And the company is usually not willing to be doing that because that will cost a lot of money. So they would not have selected you if they thought you were going to be a terrible fit. And because you're interested in learning, I know that you're going to rock it. So let's just dive in what you should be doing the first few days or the first day as a manager. So really, let me just tell you up front, your job in the first, let's say, 3 months is going to be learning about your new role, whether you're promoted and you're in the same company, or you're coming into a new company and you have to learn a brand new work culture. It's going to be learning. And how do you learn? It's going to be about listening and going around to the team and talking to people and really trying to listen to understand and really without judgment, just learning like what it is, like what is the current state. So I'm going to give you some tips for how to do that. And of course, the mantra here for this whole video for the first 3 months, but really the first month is going to be like super heavy learning, is go slow to move fast. I believe that's in the book called The Slight Edge. Super awesome book. I'll drop a link to that if you haven't checked that out in the description for you all. One of my favorite books that I read when I first started out as a leader, talking about going slow to move fast means you take your time, you learn, you are thoughtful instead of coming in as a manager and feeling like you have to make all the changes right away. So your team will not like if you come in and be super disruptive. They may want to see action from you, but what you can say is, I'm learning, I'm gathering information so I can make the right decisions. And if I take the thoughtful time to do that right now, then I'm going to run later with you when I have your trust, when I know what the right problems to solve are, when I know how you all love to be contacted and communicated with, and how you lead and how I can lead you best, right? So I'm putting in an investment in you all, and my time and energy learning is going to be a huge investment so we can just like sail forward super fast later. So I would actually just take all the pressure you're feeling off of you right now that says like, oh my gosh, I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know the answers. I need to like prove that I know what I'm doing, and just like dispel all of that. You actually don't need to do any of that. All you have to do is meet your team and start learning, and they are going to respect you so much for that. So how do you do this? So number one, I would host a meeting with the entire team and or send a welcome email. So prior to this, hopefully, your leader has sent an email or done a team communication saying that, hey, let's use me for example. Hey, Kayla is joining the team as the new manager of XYZ department, and talks about here's why she was hired, these are the decisions we made, etc. If your manager or leader hasn't done that yet, I would just talk to them real quick and say like, hey, I already started, or hey, I'm going to be starting. I would love it if you would just communicate to the team and let them know that I'm coming and why I was hired, so that they know I have your full support. Most good managers and leaders are going to do this. They might need reminding if they have a lot going on, but that way it shouldn't really come from you. But that way you've got like a solid foundation. And then once you come in, I would say send like a welcome email / meeting. You can probably do both and say like, hey, I'm Kayla. Here, I'm starting in this role. I'm excited. And what you want to do is include like just a little bit about who you are as a leader, your experience, maybe what you enjoy as a person, so they know that you're a human. For example, I would share outright, like, I have 2 children, I have a dog, my hubby is a physician, he's busy, we have a very full life, we like to be outside, we have a cabin, etc. Just so they know like who I am. And like I said, share your leadership experience, how you got here, what you're most excited about for the role. And then a lot of leaders think they have to set expectations right away with, what they expect of people. And I do agree. You need to have expectations for the people you lead. However, you don't know what you should be expecting of them until you learn about them first. So what you want to do is share, like, here's what you can expect of me. So they know exactly what you're going to be doing in the first, let's say, 3 months. There's a wonderful book called Your First 90 Days. And this is the book that I used when I got into the manager role to kind of figure out what I was supposed to be doing. And the first thing is that they say you should be doing is just listening, learning, and being present. So I would just share with the team, hey, I want to go slow to move fast, which means I want to learn everything I can about you and a department so that we can make the right decisions and I can help you moving forward. And so, what does that mean? You would want to say, hey, I'm going to set up individual meetings with all of you to let you know that I want to know more about you. Who are you as a person, as a human? How are you in this role? How long have you been in it? And what has your experience been in this role on this team? And asking really good questions like, what are you most proud of about your performance on this team and about the team in general? Like, it's great to hear from people what they really love at their core about being on the team and about what they've contributed. They can reflect on that. And then ask them, what are your biggest barriers on this team? Like, if you could change anything, what would you change? And is there something that you're needing? Like, do you need more support in a certain area that you weren't getting or you wish you could get? Or are there things happening that you wish would stop happening? I love asking my team, like, what would you like me to stop doing? And you'd be surprised some of the responses that I get. But I love hearing that because I can then tweak the way I lead. So for example, they might say like, hey, we're having like 2 meetings a week with the team and it just feels like a lot. Could we switch it to a once a week huddle and then maybe do like a bigger meeting every like once a month? That would cut down on the meeting time and give me more time to work, right? So it's like little things like that that would be like super helpful to you as a leader to know like how you're going to lead the team. I think my camera is dying. Let me check. Yes, I better plug it in. Another thing that I love asking is, what would you like to see in a manager? So people have often been managed or led in one way and they know what they don't like, and they might not know what is helpful for them because they may have had a toxic leader in the past. So it'll be interesting to see as you meet everybody how they react to you. For example, if you have somebody who's like sending you updates like every day on a project and you're the kind of leader that trusts your employees, you might be thinking like, trusting your team members, like, why are they sending me updates like this? And it could be because they had a really toxic manager in the past who needed to have control over every step of the project and needed detailed updates super frequently. So this is something that you want to observe and learn over time, and you can start to share with your team members like, I trust you to get your work done. If you want feedback from me on something specific, I totally am happy to look it over. But if you feel like you're on track, like just give me the update at our normal weekly one-on-one or whatever you prefer. So listen to these like key little nuanced things that people do or watch for these things to kind of start to learn like, oh, I wonder what the previous expectation was for this team member. That way you can start to develop your own style and let them know like, here's kind of what I'm thinking for how I love to lead you, but also like, how would it work for you? So it's kind of a blend of what you need to feel like you're being supportive as well as informed, and what they need to be supported and feel like you've got their back. All right. And I kind of alluded to this, but this is a great time in this one-on meeting to talk about communication styles and preferences. You might say something like, I've often been given feedback that I'm a direct person, that I like to be super direct and I'm to the point. But I want you to know that doesn't mean that I don't care about you as an individual. It just means that I love to be real and open and honest and to the point with my feedback. So I'm going to learn as much as I can about you as a human. I'll probably ask you about you. How are you doing? Because like I genuinely care. But when it comes to work stuff, I just like to be efficient. So I'll be direct in my feedback. And so I hope that we can grow to have a really good relationship because then we can just be open, honest, to the point, but also care about each other. So you might share something like that. You might say like, I don't respond to emails after a certain time. So if you need something urgent, call, text, whatever your boundary is. So this is a great time for you as a new leader, like think about my boundaries. So something that I didn't do right away when I became supervisor was set boundaries, and I became burnt out really, really quickly. So for me, that meant working really long hours. Like I would get there at 6:30 in the morning so I could talk with night shift, talk with day shift, and then I might leave at like 6, 7, 8 at night and talk to evenings and be doing projects. And that's just insane. Like nobody expected me to work 12, 13, 14-hour shifts, but I thought I needed to gain trust and rapport with the team. But actually, I was just showing leaders coming up in the ranks behind me that that was what we're supposed to be doing. So I was showing sort of an inappropriate behavior for leaders. So I would say like set healthy boundaries because it shows other people like it's okay that you have a work life and a home life and that like at one point your work life ends and your home life begins. So just think about what is your actual start time? What does your leader say you need to be there? When do you believe you need to be there? Have that good conversation with your leader. But also think about like your end time. When would you be signing off? When would you start like your work down or your sign off ritual? And I'm sure I'll talk about that ritual in another video, but like when do you start winding down for the day and like thinking about the next day? Um, and then, yeah, do you want to be giving your cell phone number? Do you have a work number? What is the best way to reach you? And then you can talk about a cadence for regular touch points. So as a new leader and current manager myself, I love to have one-on-one meetings with my team members because it helps them know, like, number one, they always have dedicated time on my calendar, no matter what, to meet with me. That way, like if they have less urgent items, they don't have to send me extra emails or chats. They can just bring it to the one-on-one and it shows that they're prepared and proactive. And also keeps me informed. So they kind of share what they're working on and the progress they've made. And then I'm able to reflect back like, yes, that is a priority, or you're in the right direction, or no, I think we need to pivot, or it's come to my attention that this thing is going to be less a priority, so I think we need to work on this. Or if they don't mention something that I think is important, I can just ask about it. So it's just a really nice, easy, focused time for us to connect, deepen our connection, our relationship with work and at work with each other, but also feel like we're prioritizing time with each other so that we have it if we need it, and then we can always reschedule or cancel if we have a really full week and it's just not going to work out. So kind of talk about what you're thinking for that, but you'll also learn that over the next 3 months as you're in your new role. All right. And then I think the last thing I would suggest for your first like days in your leadership role is start to get to know your leadership style. Maybe you think you know what your style is, and that would be interesting for you to write down now. And then later on, as you move forward in your leadership journey as a new manager, see how that style evolves. So I actually think we have like a more dominant style, like sort of what we default to. But I do think good leaders are great at adapting for their audience. So they're really good at knowing, like, okay, I'm speaking with this person needs this. I'm speaking with this person needs this. Also, in certain situations, you need different leadership styles. So, for example, if there's a fire in the building, you want somebody that's going to be like giving you direction, like, get out, go this way, like, right? You wouldn't want someone who's like, I wonder which stairwell we should go out. What do you guys think? That just wouldn't work in a fire. You just want to be directed. But if you're, trying to think of priorities as a team, it would be good to have a more democratic, collaborative approach where you ask the team, like, what do you think the priorities for the team would be this year? Have you talked to any other team members? What have you been hearing? How could we take that into account, right? So there's a time and place for different leadership strategies. So I will do a whole video coming up soon on how to get to know yourself better and what personality tests I would suggest. So be on the lookout for that video. All right, if you found any of these tips helpful for what to do in your first days as a leader, definitely give the video a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. And check out, I have free resources in the description below, as well as all my other offerings like one-on-one coaching and my career kickstart course. All right, everybody, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.